Welcome. You know what it is. Missy never heard that before. Coming live and direct. I know all my fans out there excited. Why we excited? Because we know what time it is. NBA Draft 2026. That's right. You know who I got them for them Dallas Mavericks, and we have what a first day of the draft. Before I tell you about the draft, let me catch you up first. So something, make sure you click on the button at the bottom to subscribe, share, and respond to my video. And again, this is my sports section. So if you've been following me, for me, you never heard that before, this would be episode 16, but it's the sports edition. I always give you just my thoughts, drop you different episodes. Sometimes I'm doing my episode live. Sometimes I'm pre-recording it. I'm doing it with a fan, with a guest, doing interviews or what have you. Or you can also catch me every single day posting just my thoughts, Monday through Monday, every single day, motivation. But today, live response to the NBA Draft 2026. If you're a Mavs fan, you know they've been all every day on the draft boards, on those mock drafts. They've been having us. Of course, we had the number 9 pick this year. I'm mad about it. Last year we had the first pick, Cooper Flag in the building. But now we had the number 9 pick. So what do we do for the number 9 pick? Let me take you through first. It's been a while since I dropped you a sports episode. So let's see where we left off. Last time I talked to you, which was some time ago, the Dallas Mavericks didn't have a coach. Of course, you know, after we brought in Yasai Majiri, you know I'm talking about the good new at basketball operations. Let me tell you a little bit about him first, if you don't know. Masai, everybody knows him for being for the Toronto Raptors, brought them their one and only probably ever championship in 2019, thanks to him. And of course, taking that gamble on signing Kawhi Leonard. Nobody was sure about signing Kawhi Leonard that year because we didn't know if he was going to stay with the team. Was it worth trading off all your assets to get Kawhi Leonard? But he believed and he chose right. He gambled right. He threw everything into the middle of the table and he won. So he got himself an NBA championship with the 2019 Toronto Raptors. He's been known to being a great basketball mind, a great evaluator of talent. He was also around in 2013 when he 2016 he got his role as being 2013 he was named the excellent uh GM or basketball operations guy of the year, and he led 8 straight playoff appearances for the Denver Nuggets. What you think about that? I mean, sorry, before he was in the Denver Nuggets in 2016, then he had 8 straight trips to the playoffs. He took Toronto to the Eastern Conference Finals. Before that, he took them to the championship. Now he's known for getting great talent all over the draft, from early picks in the draft to also later picks. He's responsible for picking OG Anunoby. He's responsible for picking Pascal Siakam. He's responsible for picking Scotty Barnes. He's responsible for Van Vliet. So he's been getting quite a few draft picks that's hidden. And he's hitting on those numbers. No matter where he's landed, he's hitting. So he joined the Mavericks this year after we let go of Nico Harrison. It was a while since we had a new basketball operations leader. And so we got one. And we all know that Jason Kidd, don't get me wrong, Jason Kidd was the leader for the Mavericks for 5 years. And he ended up with a 500 record. I believe 255 and 255, something around there. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But anyway, so we got rid of the coach. Soon as Masai came, we knew what time it was. He wanted to get everybody out of the building that had anything to do with the Luka Doncic trade. That lapse of judgment by Nico Harrison. And also we know Jason Kidd had a little bit to do with that. Now, don't get me wrong, I supported Luka. Every year he was with the Mavericks, top draft pick, wonderful basketball mind, wonderful offensive leader of the team. But I was sick and tired, as many others are, with him lacking to get back on defense. Just poor attitude sometimes on the floor, just the defense and the constant being out of shape. And I love him, but he had his faults just like every basketball player does. But to be honest with you, I was getting sick and tired of that myself. So we let go. Now, don't get me wrong, I would never trade him. So we traded Luka Doncic to get somebody that's always hurt, often injured, Anthony Davis, which couldn't even last us a year. He played a heck of a basketball half when he first joined the team against the Houston Rockets, when he was with Kyrie Irving throwing oops all over the floor, telling Dallas, I'm here, this is me, I'm great. 5 minutes later, he's injured again. And we know we took that into the offseason. He was injured again in the offseason, had to have eye surgery. So push come to shove, and to fast forward a story that's moving in slow motion, traded Anthony Davis, cleared up space, moved into the offseason, moved into the season starting new, traded him to the Washington Wizards, and we know how everything went with that. Now, land us to where we are now. The number 9 pick. Now, I was pretty mad about this because I felt like Dallas had the opportunity to move up. So me, just like all the rest of the Dallas Mavericks fans, we were angry when we had the draft lottery, when we moved back one spot to get the 9. Now, I didn't want Cooper Flag to grow up in the NBA with a mindset of losing. So I wasn't mad about us getting a couple of extra wins here and there. We didn't need to. but it cost us our tanking opportunity to get into the top 5. So we're number 9. So on the build up for forgot about that. We did hire a new GM, Mike Schmitz. Mike Schmitz, what is he known for? For the people that don't know, Mike Schmitz, young man, he's one of those people that made a promise to himself. He made a promise to himself that he would become a GM before he turned 40 years old. And by God darn it, he did it. He made it all the way. Now you might know him from being in Portland. He was the assistant GM in Portland. Also, he's a top draft analysis, great with the international scouting, and that came in handy when it comes to the NBA draft. So we were able to hire him not that long before, maybe sometime in June. We hired, I want to say June. He's been at the helm for a few weeks now, leading and getting ready to work his way up to the draft, which took place the first round on yesterday. Now we were getting closer and closer to the NBA draft, and we were thinking about. You heard on many of the shows from many of the Mavs podcast, even on ESPN. Everybody's wondering what's more important for Dallas to prepare themselves for the draft, thinking about who they would pick with the number 9 and the number 30 pick, or is it more important for them to finally get a head coach? And I believe that as the closer we got to the draft, I know how important it is to have a basketball coach. But as far as the draft goes, you're getting Mike Schmitz, who's an excellent developer of talent, excellent guy who knows how to find and spot talent all over the world, where he's worked side by side with Masai Ujiri, looking into the depths, watching tape, going off constant flights out of the country and inside the country to find talent. That's a great thing, because especially you need to know those overseas talent and be a good judge of talent when you have a later pick in the first round to find those diamonds in the rough, to make sure you have a rotational player. Maybe at 30, you're not thinking of really a rotation player. Maybe someone you can stash in the G League, prepare them, work them up so they can find their way to get a chance to crack the rotation. Hopefully we can do better than that. So Mike Schmidt was working day in and day out, getting that ready. And then to my surprise, a few days ago, what happens? Did Dallas get a head coach? Did they? So just rewind a little bit. Masai Ujiri said he was going to be really determined to search high and low to try to find a new coach for the Dallas Mavericks, because this is a very important decision, especially if you're thinking about leading Cooper Flag into the next 10 plus years of playing for the Dallas Mavericks. He needed a coach in place to build some stability and give us a true direction with our team. So what did we do, everybody? You know, we hired Dusty May. May I or may I not? Mother, may I? Yes, you may. Dusty May. If you don't know who Dusty May is, then that means you didn't watch college basketball at all last year. He led those Michigan Wolverines to a championship, which was unheard of, especially the way the basketball in college is going now, where you're constantly in the transfer portal. You're starting a new. It's kind of like working like the NBA basketball now. The players are getting paid, which they should. So it's really more about who has the biggest bag at what college to be able to offer to those top-notch players, to be able to get them to come to their school in hopes of being one and done, as it usually goes, and then finding them a championship. But Dusty May didn't start there. He started at Florida Atlantic of the Owls, and he took them to their first ever in history Final Four in 2023. So he's led a school that had pretty much the low end of the market. And this before they were getting the UAL money. They didn't have a bag like they do at Michigan. Michigan has enough money to supply the needy. So then he went to Michigan, and he's grabbing everybody out of the portals. Jackson Lindenberg. He's grabbing Morris Johnson Jr., grabbing Ade Mara. All of these players, mixing up all the different players, and then put them all together in 1 year and to farm. Didn't need a lot of like you see. Okay, for example, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, they're built off chemistry. They do have talent, but they have so much chemistry. The Villanova boys, so they know how to play together. They can build that chemistry over a few years and after knowing each other for a while. Michigan, I'm talking about Dusty May put these guys together on a whim and took them all the way to the NCAA championship. Now, he didn't have freshmen all over the place. He had old school. Yaxel, 23, will be 24 years old on, I believe, the day of the draft. He turned 24 years old yesterday. You got Adamar. All these players, none of these players are freshmen. They have big body size, like, for example, Morris Johnson Jr., 6'9" with his shoes off, 6'10", 250 pounds. He's already built like a linebacker. He's built like he has an NBA-ready body already. So we got Dusty May, and I told you a little bit about his background. He is a winner. No matter if it's at a school with a lot of resources or a few resources, he is a winner. Great with player development. Great with modern offense, which was something that we really need in Dallas. I feel that Jason Kidd was spoiled by Luka Doncic. When you got a player, you have an all-time generational talent like Luka Doncic, it's no need really to be running plays. You give him the ball and you get out of his way. He can take it, he can dribble it for 20 seconds and then jump in the air and do a double pump pass over his neck to find an open man in the corner because all eyes are on Luka Doncic. So he really spoiled Jason Kidd. And I really thought Jason Kidd, I believe he is a player's coach, but at the same time, he didn't have enough creativity in his offense for me. It was just a one-man show. People just follow around as you may, and then just try to get open. So it was, and then by the time you get to the playoffs, playoff basketball is half court basketball, and he just didn't have enough creativity on the floor. He was too stagnant. Dallas went from 117 points per game to under that, and that shows when we tried to play the Boston Celtics in the championship, we were just too predictable. So Jason Kidd ran his course with the Dallas Mavericks. And at the end of the day, he was trying to vie for a leadership position, a front office position that they just weren't willing to give him. And then once Masai joined, it was a clash. Let's be honest. Masai Ujiri said everything he's supposed to say in those press conferences. He didn't mind about Jason Kidd wanting to come for his job. But let's be real. Let's be real life. If you're getting hired at a job where you have a subordinate or someone under you that's really wanted your job the whole time, chances are they're going to get the pink slip. So he gave him the pink slip, and we got Dusty May. So as I said, Masai Ujiri was looking in the cottage ranks. He was looking at past coaches. He was looking at people who never had any coaching experience before. He was looking all over far and wide to try to find a coach. And I'm lucky we landed on Dusty May. Now, I took you through all that background information to take you to where we are now. Yesterday, the first day of the NBA draft 2026. And I must say, there was a lot of talent. This is a full time that can remind you of the 2003 draft with LeBron James, with Carmelo Anthony, Bosh, I want to say Chris Paul, just a lot. Forgive me for not going back that far. And it also was in rival with the 1996 draft with yours truly, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, all those guys. So very, very talented drafts. You can find you a rotational player between 1 and 30. And even to be honest, after watching round 1, you even have some good players that can crack your rotation in round 2. So let me bring you up to date. If you were not able to catch that draft, let me tell you. So, as I said, some of these mock drafts were fantastic. But if you like I am, you're a lover and connoisseur of basketball, you know how sometimes these drafts, you have the orders all in order, but then there's that one team that takes a reach or they do something unexpected that can mess up your, just like when you get your NCAA bracket broken by one lucky team that's got on the slippers and ready to dance and be the Cinderella team. So there was always something that messed up the draft order to make people go back to the board and rethink and recalibrate the thing about what player they think would help their ball club to be able to bring them into new heights for the next season. So let me take you through the draft, and I'll tell you what I got right, what I got wrong. And you know I'm all about the Dallas Mavericks. So after I talk to you about the draft order, I'll tell you what we did as a Mavericks, how I feel about it. I will grade our picks and let you know what's going on. So for the first pick, this was pretty much essential. Everybody really knew this was a no-brainer. The Washington Wizards went with AJ DeBanson, BYU, 25 points per game, just a top flight scorer. Now his defense needs a little bit work, but when you have an offense like that, and you know the Wizards, they need that franchise player. They just signed Trae Young to $212 million. They got, although he's hurt all the time, they have a generational talent in Anthony Davis. Big man, let's just hope he stays healthy. If they do, that would be a 3-man lineup that would take the Wizards out of the depths of the East and move them into playoff contention, or at least get them close. Pick number 2, the Utah Jazz, Dan Peterson. No worries anymore about his injuries, about his cramping. We already know what he gives you. He gives you Ray Allen vibes. Can shoot from anywhere on the court. He can pull up off the dribble. He can pull up out coming off of screens. And he's a two-way, I hate saying this, but he's a two-way player. He can play on the offensive end and the defensive end. Call me an old head, but I thought that's what basketball players were. It's not like football where you come off the field when it's time to play defense. If you're a basketball player, you should be able to hold your own on the defense. You should not be a cone. Number 3, Carlos Boozer goes to the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll see if they can figure it out what they're going to do with John Morant. But I think that's a heady pick. Boozer, you can't go wrong with those top 3 picks. It just depends on what you need. The Bonza, Peterson, Boozer, they could have went in any order. It just depends on what you need. Do you like chocolate ice cream? Do you like vanilla? Do you like strawberry? They're all tasty at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you all got to go to the gym to work them out for you. Number 4 pick, Caleb Wilson. And as I said before, he could have been a number 1 pick too. Ask me 10 years from now who ended up getting the best selection, and maybe we can redraft. But I think Caleb Wilson, he's a steal for the Chicago Bulls. He's coming in there, North Carolina, gives you vibes of M to the Jizzle, MJ. Let's see what you got down in Chicago, Caleb Wilson. For number 5, Keaton Wagler. He's going to the Clippers. Clippers want to put somebody next to their small guard, and they needed some defense in the backcourt. They needed to shoot. They needed to score. Came out of nowhere in college, averaged 17 points. Babyface assassin like Curry, Keaton Walker, and I loved his interview after the draft. How he talked about how people are underrated. He just got it in his pocket and he got it on his shoulder and he ready to let it loose. Goose. All right. After that, we got the number 6 pick after Keaton Wagler, the Nets, Michael. Now, Michael, he got those back injuries, but as I'm saying before, if his medicals are coming back clear, you got to steal. When he played on that USA under 17, when he had him, the Bonds and company, he was the best player on the team by far. Can pull up from anywhere in the gym. They might have took some ill-advised shots during the season, but what else did he have? He didn't have anybody else on the team. If you play basketball, if you know you're the only scorer, they throw it to you like a ticking time bomb with 3 seconds left, and you got to get it up. So, Michael Brown, look for him to doing great things with the Nets. Also, he has Julius Randle that was traded to them. So let's see if they can work together to make a 1-2 pick and roll duo if Randle's not holding the ball too long, which was got him put up out of Minnesota. Number 7 pick. We knew this was going on. Match made in heaven. There is A-Cup. So as I'm saying, from 1 to 7, it pretty much went how you thought it was. Maybe little tweaks here and there. But 7, A-Cuff, Allen Iverson, even got the braids, even wore the nice glasses on draft night. He had a heck of a fit on. A-Cuff can score the ball from anywhere. He can pass the ball. And the boy can kick field goals. He'll fill up the gated lane cooler for you. A-Cuff can do it all, man. I'm talking about even in the tournament, he raised his numbers up, averaging 26 points a game, shooting over 40% from the 3. He's a walking, sitting, running, skipping, hopping bucket. He can put it in the bucket, baby. There is A-Cuff. Number 7 pick. All right. So things got a little shaky when it comes to Hawks. And remember, the whole time watching the draft, I'm seeing how many guards are going away. How many guards are going away? Because you know that Dallas Mavericks last year, we couldn't put the ball in the bucket. I believe we were 29th in three-pointers attempted and only made 11 3-pointers per game. We really need to change that in today's NBA. We need to let them fly. So for the Hawks, who did they pick up? My alma mater, U of H. Cougars, whose house? Cougars. Flemings, man, he got the defense. He might be undersized and kind of slight, but boy, is he explosive. He can take off on you. He can pull up. He's a mid-range type of guy. Kind of put you in the mindset of, for some reason, he kind of reminds me of Scooney Penn. If you remember Scooney Penn, kind of also put me in the mindset of Stevie Franchise. Got that medium range, can pull up on you in a heartbeat. And he got defense. Long arm, not really long arm, but he's very quick. He's in the passing lanes. And Flemings, like I said, Flemings can straight up fly and take off on you. Won't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Won't turn the ball over. Will play defense. So the Hawks are ready to move on from the small guard that they had in Trae Young, and his defense was terrible. That also reminds you of A-Cuff. Going back up pick to A-Cuff. If A-Cuff can give any kind of effort on defense, look out. So Flemings from the Hawks, U of H, put it in the bucket. Nobody expected him to take over that team in in Houston like that, but he did. So look forward to him having great things in Atlanta with the length that he has on the side of him to help him pick it up. All right, now we get to my pick. All of the mock drafts had us drafting Braden Burris because he just could slide in perfectly next to Kyrie Irving, perfectly next to Cooper Flag. Don't mind shooting the ball. Don't need the ball in his hand all the time. But, man, you can line him up anywhere, and he can make it happen for you. So I was looking for Braden Burris to go to the Dallas Mavericks. What up, man, my man? All right, good to see you up in here. Yes, A-Cuff was a pick, my brother. Yes. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm going back over the draft to see those picks, to see where we landed. Right now, I'm at the 9th pick, the Dallas Mavericks pick. We got Morris Johnson Jr. Now, if you think that Dusty May didn't have nothing to do with this, I got some land to see. And what's crazy about it, he went ahead of all the other Michigan picks that were slated to go ahead of him. Adamara, which is that 7'4" with his shoes off center. They also had Lindenberg. So think about it. He had some intel. If you're the coach of the Michigan Wolverines, you've been with them all year, and you decided to pick, because you could have picked any one of them, and you decided to go with Morris Johnson Jr., that's telling me something. That's telling me he knew something that other people didn't. We gave you smoke screens from the week before the draft. We kept preaching to you Braden Burris. We kept preaching to you that we were going to get Nate Emmett, and then we fooled out the game. Now, this is when that place in the draft starts to switch and to go something new. We drafted Morris Johnson Jr., 13 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, a block a game, 80% from the free throw line, 34% from the three. So I'm thinking that will translate on you. If you know anything about basketball, if you got a big man, he's 6'9", 6'10" with his shoes on, 250 pounds. He can hold 1 through 5. He can, like Big Perk say, he can move those. He can slide those puppies on defense. So if you want to slay him next to Cooper Flag, we need long defenders who can has no, like Jason Kidd, did you say, I want basketball players, no specific position. He's just a dog. You need him next to Cooper Flag, protecting him in the paint. If you see his highlights, he's blocking balls. He's coming from left. He's coming from right. Got a motor on him. That boy got a motor on him. I'm talking about check under the hood. He can go from 0 to 70 like that. So Morris Johnson Jr. At first, I was really upset about this because I needed us to get a guard. I need some shooting in that backcourt. Like I said before, we were 29th in three-pointers attempted last year. That won't cut it in the NBA. So I need somebody to put it in the bucket. So Klay Thompson, we got him to put it in the bucket, but he can't play 30 to 35 minutes a night. He older than those shoes I got over there. I need him. I need somebody to be able to put the ball in the bucket. Kyrie Irving is going to come back and give us another three-point threat, but I'm looking for a bucket getter. But when it comes to Morris Johnson Jr., let me see what you got. We got Dusty May. He know how to put people together. And Cooper Flag, no matter where you are on the floor, he can make it happen. So that can make sure he can slide Cooper Flag into that three. And we know that Cooper Flag will not have to put it all on his shoulders to score all of the points and hold all of the toughest offensive weapons that play the 3 and 4 spot. So that's a good pick with Morris Johnson Jr. Take you to number 10. Number 10, Bucks stepped up and they got Braden Burns. I think Braden Burns is going to be excellent. He averaged 17 points a game. He can do anything. He really stepped up his numbers after December. He was only averaging 10 points before December. And the rest of the season from December onwards, I think he averaged about 17 points a game, 4 assists, putting it in the bucket. So Braden Burns, I'm looking forward to have a good year. Now, at the next pick, Golden State, I think they got Yaxel Lindenberg. Good pick, another Michigan player, 24 years old, a little older than most. But if Golden State is thinking about winning now, they need to add players that are old enough. He got the grown man body, great on the court. He can shoot it. He can pass it. Long. He has the height of a 4, the length and the arm span of a 5. So I think he's going to be crucial for Golden State to move them into the next era of basketball after he's a bigger, faster, and more offensive-minded Draymond Green. So I think new era for the Mavs. I really like the hire coach too. Yeah, it's funny how he skipped over Yaxel. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe him and Morris are about the same size, 6'8", 6'9". But let's think about it. If you want somebody to be on the same timeline as Cooper Flag, he's 24 years old. Morris, I believe, is 20. 4 years younger. I think that he has much. Right now, Yaxel is who he's going to be. He's 24 years old. By the time 4 or 5 years pass, he'll be almost 30. And I know that Morris Johnson Jr., 20 years old. So that means he's way behind, and Ed has 4 more years to develop. So if they're the same age, 4 years now, I believe that Morris is going to be a much better player than Yaxel. And Yaxel, remember when he played in the tournament, he was hurt at the end of the tournament. I don't know if he's what his health is like now, but he was hurt at the end of the tournament. All right, OKC got the next pick. They got Adamora from Michigan, and you can't tell me they didn't have anything to do about the playoffs and how Wemby truly outplayed Chet. He made Chet look like he was 5'11". So I'm thinking you got that big 7'4" Michigan guy to come in and step up there next to Chet. I think he'll be that big, strong body that Chet was not. That skinny frame, even though I'm sorry for this. Even though for Spurs, even though Wembanyama had that skinny frame, he was just too quick and too agile for Chet's defense. Myra can put that big body on him. We can see what happened. Now, Bucks were able to get another pick after this because of the trade with the Miami Heat. So the Bucks filled in this slate again, and then they went ahead and got Nate Ahmed from Tennessee. Huge upside, baby face. You swear he's 15 years old. Averaged about 17 points, about 6 rebounds. Didn't shoot it well at what I thought, but he got the form. He can put the ball on the floor. Said his favorite player is Kevin Durant. It's good to say that when you're 6'10", 6'11", and can dribble a little bit. But I want to see more out of him. I want to see more aggression. I want to see a better shot selection. I think he'll be a good pick for Milwaukee. They're not trying to win anything. They're just trying to develop players. So he'll be a good player to him, and also Braden Burns. They'll be good to come into this new era for Milwaukee basketball. After that, Charlotte was on the clock. Steinbach. You know what you're getting out of Steinbach. Let's go. After Steinbach, we got Charlotte with the pick. That's Charlotte. I'm sorry. Then after that, we got Bulls. We got Memphis. Memphis got to shoot. I'm going to take you through it real quick. OKC, Hornets. All these people got some good picks. Let me make it specific because I'm going to run through the rest of these picks so I can get to Dallas and what I'm looking for then with their picks. So give me 1 second because I don't want to steer you wrong. All right, as I said, so 14 pick forward. They got Steinbach, good guy. He's a rebounder, big rebounder that they needed in Charlotte. All those shots are going to be going up for the shooting guard. We got Swain, got the next pick in Chicago. Swain from Texas, need to really work on his shooting, need to be a better shooter, but he went higher than most people thought. Everybody thought he was going to go in the 20s. From Memphis, they got, what's his name? Bennett Stearns. He is a shooter. They need it. Put it in the bucket. 17, OKC. They got a Becca Corey, but he got traded to Detroit. Detroit really needs that. During the playoffs, they were exposed because nobody else could put the ball on the floor except Cade. Nobody could even think about dribbling. So that's a big pickup for them. Becca Corey from Stanford. That boy can dribble it. That boy can put it in the pocket. That boy can ball, baby. All right, then Christian Anderson, number 18 pick. Charlotte, they got Christian Anderson, shooting guard. Now he can put it in the bucket. So look out for him. Alan Graves went to Toronto. Jaden Quintanis went to the Spurs, which is a great pick. Now, if you know anything about Jaden Quintanis, he blew out his knee, so he didn't see much of him last year, and they started getting more swelling, so he has knee problems. But if he didn't have knee problems, he would be the top defender in the draft. It was up to me. I watched a lot of tape on this guy. Long reach, can spread. He's motor again. He can move all over the floor from this wing to this wing. Very smart player, high IQ. Hopefully everything goes good for him. For Detroit, they got Kareem Lopez. First player ever with Mexican descent to be picked in the top round. Proud of you and your family. Great job. Now, LeBaron Fillon, he dropped in the draft. LeBaron Fillon, I watched him play during the tournament. I watched him play college basketball. That boy can score. It's kind of undersized. I don't understand how the 76ers keep getting these good guards and these good picks late in the draft, but he's going to be a monster. They need somebody else to put in his hand. He can score if he need to be that Vinny Microwave from back in the day off the bench. LeBaron Fillon, be looking for him. I think he's going to have a good year. Next up, we got Atlanta Hawks. They got Zubi Ejiofor. Watched him also play a little bit. The man's a monster, not a big offensive threat, but he can put it in. He can post up, got a few moves, put me in the mindset of from Detroit. Big man. Beef Stew kind of reminds me of him. 6'9", 250 pounds. Already got the NBA body. Can move. Handle that. Cameron Carr with Nick. I think this is a steal for the Lakers. He was drafted by New York, but they traded his rights to the Lakers. He'll be good standing next to Luka Doncic. He can shoot the ball. He can put it on the floor. He can get his own shot. So I'll be looking forward for Cameron Carr. Wish Dallas Mavericks could have got him. I was really upset that we didn't get a chance to get him. Next pick, the Lakers. The Lakers drafted Sergio De La Rey, and he was traded. His rights go to the Dallas Mavericks. I never heard of this guy before. I really had to look him up because Dallas had the actual 30th pick. So while I'm looking at the 30th pick, I saw that Dallas Mavericks got Koa Pete. I like Koa Pete, just not for the Dallas Mavericks. I needed us to get some kind of guard. And this really, when I find out that we actually got the rights to Sergio De La Rey, looked him up instantly. 6'6", playing overseas in a grown man's league, close you can get to being in the NBA is over in Spain. The guy can flat out shoot the laces off the ball. Shot 40%, could put the ball on the floor. I'm seeing him going baseline, one hand dunking it. Got swag, will bump you in the chest. Like I said, 6'6", not really a scorer. He's a floor general. Can dribble the ball, put it on the floor, left hand, right. Can shoot it from any corner. He's shooting from that top, shoot it up the dribble, got moves, got a bag on him. I'm talking about he's in his bag, reaching for the fries at the bottom. He's in his bag. You know, if you have to go get the food and you bring it back, but you eat all the fries at the bottom, they never know they was gone. That's Sergio De La Rey. Put in the bucket. Up next for Denver, they got Tyrese Reed Jr. Traded him to the Spurs. The Spurs got some heck of a big man. They doing this to take the pressure off of Wemby. Wemby, you playing 20 to 25 minutes, 30 a game, have you fresh for the playoffs. These other centers can come in, back it up, make it happen. I thought this was a steal for Boston getting Chris Sinak at the 27th pick. U of H Cougars. Didn't really shine. He was actually a top 10 high school before he went to college. It worked for him as a team going to U of H, but didn't work for him as well as an individual player. But he did ball out. Chris Sinak going to Houston, from Houston going to Celtics. That is a great pickup. He's going to be a rotation player from the 21 Jump Street. Up next for Cleveland Cavaliers, they got Alex Caravan, forward, UConn, baller. So that's letting me know they're going to be letting go. Who's going to be Strus? Somebody got to get the exit ticket. And last but not least, 30th pick in the first round, Koa Pete from Arizona. I like him. He got a big body. He can rebound. He can do all the small stuff. But I need somebody to score. His shot needs a lot of work. Need a lot of work. We just say the Mavs have done well with drafting. And yes, they did good with drafting international players. What makes me feel good about that? That's why we got Mike Schwartz, because he's great at recognizing international talent. Him, Masai Ujiri, they're great at the international talents. And you pick a guy for the GM that's great at draft analysis, international scout. What a job by Masai Ujiri. Great job hiring him. Don't get me wrong. I like Michael Finley. I like the other guy, but Michael Finley, you just get your office job. Just put a title on his door and let him keep an office in there. But Mike Schwartz, he was made for this. Now, let's talk about what we did. Now, I saw a lot of the outlets and I saw a lot of the podcasts that gave the Mavericks a D or a C minus or a C plus for getting Morris Johnson Jr. So they gave them a C, and then they're giving the other players on that team. For example, Lindenberg, they gave, I think, the Golden State Warriors an A or A minus for getting him. He's 24 years old. Don't get me wrong. You draft to what your team needs. I don't care about any kind of shooting guard. We need shooting guard. We need a point guard. We need the best. When you're picking at 9 to 15, you're picking the best player on the board. When you got picks 1 through 5, 1 through 6, of course you can pick the best top-notch player or what position that you need. But when you get in these positions 9 through 14, depending on the type of draft that you have, you got to pick what's going to make your team win. We're not in a winning position. We won about 20-some games last year. We need the best player that's available in the draft. And I believe if we had the coach of Michigan that had 3 of those players and he decided he had a choice of anyone and he picked him, I'm thinking there's something to it. 80% free throw shooter. That means he's destined. That's telling me that's translating to shooting in the NBA. One of the only shortcomings they had of Morris Johnson Jr. is that he wasn't stretching the floor enough. He wasn't shooting enough. If you're 80% free throw shooter as a big man, I think he has a good chance of developing into a good shooter. We got good shooting developing coaches. I think they will take him over the top. Like I said, he's a long defender. He can defense 1 through 5, which we really needed that. Dallas didn't have great guards when it came to stopping the dribble penetration. If you have Coop back there, if you have Morris Johnson Jr., if Derek Lively can stay on the court more than 5 minutes this year, you got the back line of those 3 players. Woo! No matter how easy it guards, I'm telling you to get all the way up on your man, do the best you can at stopping. If they get by you, you got something back here. It's like saying if you got a big brother in the back and behind you, that's the best boxer in the world, you can run out there and talk all the noise you want to because you got somebody bagging you up behind you that'll handle your business. So that's what I'm saying. As long as you got that back line, and look, don't forget, we still got Najee Marshall. We still got PJ Washington. So we got some defenders back there. All we need to do now is tell those guards, Max Christie got a little bit defense. Hopefully he's been working on that this summer. Get up there. Get up on your man. You got a back line ready for you. Okay? Brandon Williams. I don't know who else we're going to keep. We got Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's come back after the ACL injury. Get up on your man. Kyrie Irving was all lead before he was with the injury. He was going to make first team, putting up 25, 5, and 5, 25 points, 5 assists, 3 to 5 rebounds. He was at his top notch before he went down with the injury. I think he's going to come back and add some versatility. And he's going to take a lot of weight off of Cooper Flag. He's going to be able to dribble the ball. He's going to be able to find him. Last year, Cooper Flag had to be the point guard. He had to be the shooting guard. He had to be the small forward. He had to be the power forward. He had to be the small 5. He had to get everybody else involved. He had to get himself involved. We need a lot of weight off of his shoulders. Think how good you can be when you can focus on less things instead of more. Got Kyrie Irving to bring it down. So that's going to lower Cooper Flag's turnovers. He's going to be able to set him up for a change. So he gets to play his natural position on the wing. How many wings going to be able to stay in front of him? He was great in defense last year. How much more energy is he going to have to be able to play defense this year? So we're already setting us up for positivity. And then, as I said before, we add Sergio De La Rey. He can shoot the ball 40%. Put it in the bucket. We need that shoot. And he's 6'6". He was something that we didn't have. Now, don't get me wrong. We got Najee Marshall. He's about 6'5", 6'6", good size, but he can't shoot it. He got the floater that's unstoppable, but he can't shoot it. So if he can't shoot it, they're packing the paint. And that's what they were doing against Cooper Flag. You can't pack the paint when you got Kyrie Irving out there, baby. You got to get out there on the wing. And if we can put a point guard at the top, when you got Kyrie on the side, you can't pack that inside where you got Kyrie. You got to respect this shot. In the words of Klay Thompson, hey, I can still shoot it. So I even think that Klay Thompson is going to look much better when he has an actual point guard. I was ready to get Klay Thompson out of here too. If you ever play basketball, you know who's on the court with you really matters. It's one of the highest, best team-initiated games in the world. So you need teammates. He could have a much better game if he has those people out there to spread the floor, get him the ball, and run with him. He need a point guard out there. Brandon Williams did good last year, but he's not a point guard. He's a scorer first, so he's really going, and he can't shoot it either. So you don't have to spread the floor with him. Cooper Flag was left with no shooting guards last year, no point guards or shooting guards. Najee Marshall played most of the minutes on the wing, and he can't shoot. Klay Thompson can't create his own shot. And if he's the only one out there that can shoot, they're playing him this close. They're in his, like my coach would say, get in his jock strap. So Today we got the second round of the NBA draft. We got the second round tonight. There are a lot of good players left out there. We still got our Isaiah Evans from Duke. Please pick him up for Cooper Flag. So what I want today, I think we have the 46th or the 48th pick. I need us to do some wheeling and dealing so we can get 2 picks in this draft, in the second round. I need us to focus on some shooters. I understand why we need a big man. We needed rangy defenders, and we needed somebody that might be able to play the 5 because we don't know Derek Lively's health. And that's really hurting us right now. We need Derek Lively to be able to stay on the floor. You see what happened when he was able to stay on the floor for over 55 games? We made it to the NBA Finals. So we need him back in there. We need him to play. We need his foot to be better. We need him out of that walking boot. We need him to be good. So we need some shooters, and we need a point guard. Somebody maybe could be a combo guard that can pass the ball, not a lot of turnovers, put the ball in the bucket. We need some shooters. So this can set us up to find out what we're going to do. If we get all these big men, that's letting me know that we're going to part ways with Daniel Gafford. Can Daniel Gafford get us something back in return? Daniel Gafford, you're going to be getting moved, buddy. We get one more wing, I'm thinking they're going to let go of P.J. Washington. So what I think is we're going to see what we're going to do in the draft, pick up some other things on the edges, see what we're looking at about 30, 40-something games in, and we can decide what we're going to do with the roster. That's the direction I think it's headed. If we got some good numbers, we're looking good, maybe we can add a couple more pieces here and there. I want to find out what happens to Middleton. Can we package Middleton with a pick, package Middleton with something to get something in return back? Can we do that? Middleton? I'm thinking about what's our big man name that we got when Anthony Davis left? Bagley. Bagley played well when he came up from Dallas. He can shoot the ball, he can stretch the floor, he can get some rebounds. Doesn't have the highest IQ, but he can rebound the ball, he can shoot the ball. He played great. He was one of the best things we had after we let go of Anthony Davis for $50 in the do-rag and for some fortune cookies. Because that's what we got back from Anthony Davis. So you're telling me we traded and let go of Luka Doncic for Middleton, Bagley, a couple of draft picks, washing machine, and I think they gave us a $50 coupon to Whataburger. That's what we got for Anthony Davis. And in the long run, that's what we got for Luka Doncic. Fire Nico Harrison. Fire Jason Kidd. Finney, you lucky we didn't fire you if you wouldn't have took the beer out of his hand. If Finney wouldn't have took that beer out of his hand, he would have got fired too. Mark my words. Everybody got to go. Everybody got to go. It's like the sale aisle. When you go, and I'm in the UAE, we have a store called Lulu's. As soon as you walk in the door, it's a rack that says the sale. All these items can go. Matter of fact, if the price only say $1 and you think you can get it for less, bring it to the counter. We'll make a deal for it. They got to go. You got to go. So that's my draft reflection. As I said, we picked up 2 people in that first round. We got Morez Johnson Jr. We got Sergio De La Rey. What I'm hoping for in the second round, we need some shooting. We need to get some things shaking like bacon to see what we can do for the Mavs, man. Thank you for those that are responding. Thank you for joining me, my man Aiden, with your analysis on the Dallas Mavericks. Tell me what you think about the Dallas Mavericks. I'll be back again tomorrow to join you. Hopefully, my man Aiden going to be joining with me. Hold on. So hopefully he'll be joining with me so we can talk to you a little bit about what happened in the second round and what we're going to be able to do for the offseason. Can we get some players to join us? Can we get some players to join us and make Dallas even better play? But I'm thinking, Aiden asked me a good question. He said, what about and another thing that happened during this draft time was Brown from the Mavs. I mean from Boston. Man, what we gonna do with Brown, with Jaylen Brown? Yeah, really, man, that really hurts me how they doing Jaylen Brown right now. They think Tatum is everything. When Tatum was out, Brown led his own team. He led them to the playoffs, to the second best record when everybody thought it was gonna be over for them boys. That's neither here nor there. Brown, what can Brown do for you, Dallas Mavericks? We'll let y'all have Middleton and Bagley. I'm one of the people that like to draft and trade like it's on NBA 2K with the rules and the salary cap out. Let's get Jaylen Brown. We're going to let go of Dwight Powell. Let's get Jaylen Brown. Let's do it. But it don't work like that in real life. But if we can figure out something, man, let's go. I would love to have Jaylen Brown. Big defender, can score it, can dribble it left hand, right. Not afraid to go out there and get it. You see what he did with Boston? But they rather let him go for anything. I would have made that trade for Giannis. Giannis, 35 years in the league, Giannis still can't shoot it. Still can't shoot it. And the league is changing. We need more than your 6'11", 7 just running down the middle. We're going to put somebody in the middle for that. And he can't shoot. So good luck, Miami. Hopefully y'all can find some shooters to go around the wings. Otherwise, it's just him and Bam. Yeah. And I know Bam scored more than Kobe, but it was a fluke. Them lucky shots. Boy, he was forcing it up. I would have too, though, so I ain't tripping. But anyway, that's my draft analysis. Let me know what you think about it. Share, subscribe, and like, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Me and Iden, hopefully Mr. Project Paragon, gonna join me. We're gonna tell you about what happened in the second round, what we're gonna do this offseason to make our team better, and we're getting ready for Summer League. What you think Morez Johnson Jr. gonna do in Summer League? What you think DJ? I don't want to think what AJ the Buzz is gonna do in that Summer League. Ooh, he's gonna be booming on people's head. All right, man. Holla at your boy, man. Michi never heard that before. From Come on to Abu Dhabi, signing that. Look at that. Mister, you never heard that before. Peace and get brand. I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope so, man. I hope that. I hope we get Brown. I don't care what we gotta do to get Brown. We still paying Kid. Take some of that money we doing to pay Kid and Harrison. Get that money over there to Brown. Get that money over there to Brown, man. We need some Brown. We need Brown. Brown. Is it the Brown or the clear? I need that Brown. Give me that. Give me that Brown. Give me that Brown, man. All right, guys. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. It's your boy, man. 40 minutes of borrow your time. Thank you, Project, for joining me. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, my era, so I got to get myself to sleep. Oh, what you think about that? Thunder, my ace. Thunder, Cats. That's a new movie that needs to come out. Tell me what you think about that. Somebody that's in Hollywood right now, talk to them boys and tell them to make a Thundercats movie. Lionel. How did y'all?